We are in Lakeside, California, and today is September 4th, 2025, and we're with a very special community member here, and we'll let you introduce yourself and kind of about who you are, your experience, and your promotion to lieutenant. You've been in the field, I'm sure, a lot of years, so we'll let you go ahead.
Hi, good morning. My name is Dave Perkins. I am the lieutenant, which is also the commander of the Lakeside Sheriff Substation for the San Diego County Sheriff's Office. I've been the substation commander here in Lakeside since April. Very happy to be here. It's a great community. A lot of great partnerships that are existing that I'm also continuing to keep going. Just really enjoy all the community members here. It's just a great place to live and work, and very much enjoy interacting with our deputies. A great bunch of deputies. I think some of the best deputies we have in the Sheriff's Office. All great workers and care very much about this community. Also, we have some great other public safety services that we partnership with. The Lakeside Fire Department, they're excellent. Cal Fire are some of the best, and the CHP, California Highway Patrol, are also great public safety partners. A little bit about myself. I've been a peace officer in California, going on my 24th year. Worked pretty much all over the county. Spent most of my career in North County. It's where I'm from. Worked in Escondido area, coastal area, Encinitas, Carlsbad, Vista, San Marcos. Also I worked up in those areas as a deputy and as a sergeant. I've also worked as a sergeant at our headquarters located in Kearney Mesa. And as a lieutenant, I've worked various assignments, including our comm center, courthouses in the southern region and the eastern region. I also worked for 2 years as a lieutenant at the Rancho San Diego substation, which is one of our larger stations. And then I've also worked as a lieutenant once again at our headquarters, and then this is my current assignment, which I'm enjoying very much. It's pretty much about my law enforcement career. Like I said, I'm from North County, but I'm happy to say I've been an East County resident for about the last 7 years, so do have a tie to the community, and I very much enjoy living in East County. I don't think I have any plans on going back to North County, so I'm happy to be here. Just I think a slower pace compared to other parts of the county, and just some great fellowship, community fellowship, and I really enjoy being out here, working out here, and doing my best for the community that I do have a tie to.
Lieutenant, did you know you wanted to be a peace officer when you were a child, or people, kind of say, well, I want to do this when I grow up? We change careers a lot of times, I can, myself including. But did you want to be a police officer at an early age? And then a follow-up with that would be, some of your greatest moments in your career, if you can kind of, if it's kind of classified, that's okay, but just generalize some of your greatest accomplishments or moments in your career.
That is a good question. There's a lot of people that kind of fall into this profession, like, oh, I never knew I want to be a cop, and then just something led me to this. I pretty much want to be in law enforcement my entire, adult/child life. I grew up in a public safety family. My stepfather was a law enforcement officer, and my biological father was a firefighter. So I knew I could go. Kind of knew I wanted to go one or two ways. I ended up going the law enforcement route. The firefighting route is also a great calling, but for whatever reason, I picked the law enforcement route. So pretty much that's been my goal growing up. So that being my goal, I pretty much stayed out of trouble, so I didn't cause my parents any problems, because I knew I didn't want to jeopardize that opportunity to become a law enforcement officer, because obviously there's some strict background issues. And I've been in law enforcement since I was 18 years old. I became an explorer, a law enforcement explorer, which I got to go on ride-alongs and learn from police officers. And I did that from 18 to 21. And then went to college. Well, I started college at 18, but graduated college at 22, and then went full-time into the law enforcement profession since I was 22 years old. So over half of my life I've been in law enforcement. And yeah, so that's kind of been doing that ever since.
And some of your greatest moments, you've got an illustrious career, over about 25 years or so, I think you mentioned 24.
Yeah.
Some of your most rewarding moments that's always resonating with you in your very position.
There's been a lot of moments. It's hard to say. I've not enjoyed working the fires, but I've been involved in very many large wildland fires over the years, so that's been pretty rewarding. Evacuating people and guarding their homes when they're not able to be there. Had a lot of cases where I was able to, take children out of abusive environments, hopefully give them a better life. I've had calls where I've been able to save people's lives because, I was able to find them. One call specifically, a gentleman had crashed a motorcycle, and we only got one call on it, and I got to the area, and it was a large intersection. There's a lot of cars, and I didn't see any motorcycle down, but I decided to park my car and actually get out of it, because sometimes you can hear more when you're out of your car. And I just started walking around, and I heard someone moaning in the bushes, and then I saw in these thick bushes there's a gentleman that had crashed his motorcycle and had a compound fracture, meaning his femur was sticking out of his leg. And had I not got in my car and walked around, had I just looked around and kept driving, the guy would have definitely died. They ended up landing the life flight helicopter actually on the roadway to fly him to the hospital directly. So that was a good moment. A lot of moments, a lot of high-speed chases and catching very bad people. I think that a lot of our work, we never know. I arrested a lot of people for DUI, and I think every time I've made one of those arrests, it's possibly saving a life, but we'll never know. I've arrested a lot of people for domestic violence, possibly saving a life, had those arrests not be made. That's just kind of nature of our business. A lot of things we do we'll never know, but we know it makes a difference, but you don't know specifically. Like for some instances, like, hey, I saved a life this day. But yeah, just been a very rewarding career, working with youth. I've also, because I was an explorer, a young person learning from the law enforcement, I was also an explorer advisor. So I used to take people wanting to go in law enforcement, youth, into my car and took them on ride-alongs and taught them about law enforcement. So yeah, I think those are some of the highlights.
And then on the other side of that, as a peace officer, what are some of your greatest challenges? I know, as I understand, about every year they move our lieutenants. I call them the new sheriff in town. They move the lieutenants. They come here and then they're gone. And over the years, about every year, there's a change. And maybe you can explain that briefly. And then another question is, what are some of the challenges? You're not only a peace officer, but you're a high-ranking police officer, lieutenant, so you have administrative work that goes with that rank. Maybe you can kind of explain those two questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges in law enforcement from many different directions. Obviously, there's a lot of situations we deal with that are in the public spotlight, can be very political, always constantly having to keep up with law changes and just things of that nature. Everything we do is very high profile, and everything we do is recorded either by us or by the public. So, a lot of scrutiny, and a lot of it is a lot of the frustrations I think just come from education. Like sometimes we do certain things and either the public might not know why we do them, so we just have to kind of, as an agency, put out that information on why we do the things we do, to maybe set the record straight. Challenge with an agency, we're a very large agency, so there's a lot of movement. with a large agency, there's a lot of, there tends to be a lot of movement, and that's for the best in the long run to give people opportunities to get as much experience as possible, whether it be at a substation like Lakeside or a special unit. So that's sometimes why you'll see, some of that movement to give people the opportunity to experience a command, like Lakeside, which is a unique station because of our smaller substations gives lieutenants like me the opportunity to actually be a commanding officer. Most stations, the larger stations are run by a captain, so it's kind of unique where it gives lieutenants the opportunity to have a command. And one of my biggest challenges, I think, is just keeping deputies safe, keep them safe with education. Like I said, where laws are constantly changing, policies are changing, tactics are changing, technology. So it's a constant challenge to keep deputies, give them the best resources they have, whether that be keeping them abreast of law changes and policy changes, and getting them the best equipment, which our agency is very good. The sheriff's office is very good about keeping our deputies on the cutting edge as far as information and technology and resources to keep them and the community safe. So that's always, those are always, challenges to deal with. Staffing's always a challenge. It's sometimes it can be hard to find qualified people that want to go into law enforcement. We're doing very good at staffing. I think luckily for San Diego County, we're very good at recruiting people because we have so much to offer at the sheriff's office. So many different unique places to work, and we have so many different unique opportunities, whether it be working in the jails or at the courts or at the patrol stations. And we have a large variety of special units, such as, we have ASHI, our helicopter program, we have canine programs, we have homicide, SWAT. Being a large agency, we just have a lot more employment opportunities for experiences for people that want to be in law enforcement that maybe some of the smaller agencies can't offer. So that helps us.
And as a career peace officer, you see the good and you see the bad. And my question is, when you see so much evil or tragedy, how do you take that home with you?
Yeah, it can be very tough, for sure. It's unfortunately in this job, we go to the worst things. We don't get called to go to good things usually. We get calls when things are very bad. And there's a lot of tragedy out there. And it can be tough because you can't just turn off, what you've seen. I think the best way personally that I deal with it is either try to focus on the positive, like all the good stuff that we do, and that's tends to help. Obviously, having a good outlet with whether it be family members or activities also helps. But so there's a lot of stress and trauma that can come with this job. But the good news is, like I said, there's ways to deal with it. And worst case scenario, there's a lot of resources that we have out there as well that we're able to utilize, whether it be counseling or chaplain program or peer support program. Our wellness unit, we just recently instituted a wellness unit to give resources for deputies. So we have a lot of great resources to help deputies get through those potential hard times, and which is great because when I started over 20 years ago, and especially way back when my father was law enforcement, a lot of those resources were non-existent. So we've really come a long way, providing resources to our people to get through some of those tough times.
And sir, before we wrap it up, I wonder if you have a message for Lakeside, your jurisdiction, our jurisdiction, what message you might have for Lakeside as the chief administrative officer and the lieutenant of our substation here.
I guess my message would be we're doing very well as a station. We're fully staffed, which is very, very happy to say. We are at full staffing. I can tell you, all the deputies, they come to Lakeside for a reason. A lot of them have ties to the community, or they want to work here because they know what a great community it is. And the deputies tend to stay here quite a long time because of those ties to the community and because they enjoy being here. So we just have, like I said, I think we have some of the best deputies in the sheriff's office. And I can tell you, now that I'm here, we've always had great lieutenants before me. We definitely try to be part of the community, and we're always available. If any community members have any questions or concerns, or if you just would like some community interaction with our deputies, we'll be happy to provide that.
Okay. And Lieutenant Perkins, I want to thank you so much for your time. I also want to thank the Lakeside Union School District for providing the room here for the interview. And thank you again. Be safe out there, and I will definitely see you someplace in the community.
All right, thank you very much.